You know, I am not surprised that Welstra is getting a brand new form. I mean, Taiso is being well liked by a lot of people, not just by the character, but also the voice actor himself because he is one of the hosts of Don't Know One. And I do feel Welstra has a lot to carry on his shoulder. Not only he is a brand new version of the boss unit that you have to play in your Blitz deck, but also he is the very first unit that we know of that has a D1 skill. And I do think he does prove it well, and that is exactly what I'm gonna be talking about in this video. Do note that I'm not going to be talking too much about the D1 skill aspect of it, aside from how it works in the context of the deck, because I already made a video talking about the D1 skill already. And secondly, we are not taking into account of the other triple R Blitz support that we will be getting in a few weeks, as that card coming in much later. So for this video, I'm just gonna make my thoughts based on what we have so far, and my thoughts might change when that card came out, which I will definitely clarify it in a tier list video. And without further ado, let's start off with the right line. And the interesting part about the right line that we are getting with the new Welstra is the fact that everyone get a facelift. Sorry, not facelift, the promotion. As Barton, the starter, also got promoted from mechanic to chief mechanic. Stresser from programmer become base programmer. I press X on that. Uber from researcher become head researcher, which is quote unquote a better card. And of course, Welstra to Blitz arm, which in my opinion doesn't feel like an evolution properly, because all he get is a giant ass robot arms. Doesn't stop me from actually abusing it though. But are these units better? I feel there are few aspects that these units do better. They also come with some sacrifice, and that is a good segue to talk about the very first card that got upgraded, Stresser. Stresser has only one skill. When this card is rolled upon by head researcher Uber, so blast one and you search your deck for one product card that has the same grade or less than your opponent Vanguard. I have to say this, the sacrifice that Stresser did here is that now you have to pay the cost to do the search, but instead of being able to search for just simply grade 1 product order, you can search for grade 2 or less, which does open up the search option a bit, which is a good thing. But I do think overall it is a net negative, especially if you're considering what head Uber does and what he did sacrifice. As head Uber has two effects just like the previous version, but instead of activate product, this version activate his product during battle phase and cause energy blast 3. The cost is not a problem, but I do feel the biggest problem with this card is the fact that it, instead of it activating during main phase, you activate it during battle phase, which means that if you want to play Lubetzel on turn 2, it is kind of useless in turn 2, because instead of you being able to superior call filter from your deck, you just get one draw, which is a lot worse than the 2. That's why I say with Strasser, just stick to the original version. It costs so much lesser for the deck in general, as Uber still costs a Soul Blast, but instead of on the activating product, it is on his on-right skill, as when he is ridden upon white Welstra unit that has a D1 skill on it, and if you have a product on your order zone, so blast one, discard one card from your hand, search for your deck for up to 2 different products with different name that doesn't share the name with the product on the order zone as well, add them to hand, then shuffle your deck. I would say the biggest plus about this Uber is the fact that you can search for any product, so that included the cards like Maximum and the brand new product card that we get in this booster, Urantel. I'm not sure I pronounced the name correctly or not, but I'm just gonna call it Urantel for the rest of this video. And I feel to me, Uber was designed specifically to play well into what Welstra Blitzarm, the brand new form of Blitzarm, offer, and he does it very well. As our brand new Welstra, the fated one of Guiding Star Welstra Blitzarm has the following effects. When this unit attack a Vanguard, Energy Blast 2, operate one of your product card into your order zone, and this unit plus 10 until end of that battle. Definitely a downgrade skill compared to the original, because the original gets additional power based on how many product activated in a single turn, and secondly, the original Welstra can activate product for free by just attacking. So there is a little bit of nerf in this one, but what he excels in is in his ability to set up product, as his D1 skill is counter blast 1 X skill, choose up to 2 product with different name from your hand, put it into the order zone, and if you manage to put 2 or more this way, activate one of your product. Essentially, this card takes in what Uber extend very well. I have discussed this with some of my friends who display Welstra. He says it's bad, but I do digress because of the fact that if you are trying to do the same thing with 2 Freiheit, it actually costs a lot more because you know Freiheit need a counterblast to search and you also need to discard for every instant as well. So this actually costs much lesser. So what this Welstra do that original doesn't is the fact that it became a little bit more self-sufficient and actually helps to set up for your final board, which is the turn 4. And the reason why I'm saying turn 4 specifically is because of the fact that the brand new product Urantel can only be activated in turn 4, as its operation skill can only be activated during battle phase and by Welstra with the 1 skill only. And what it does is essentially an upgrade version of Maximum, as it retire 1 red card, it minus 10k to your opponent Vanguard, and if your opponent manages to have 4 or less damage, you deal 1 damage at them. So I know that there is another ability where you can draw 1 and get energy charge 3. That's a plus, that's a good card also, but I do feel that its main point is the damage dealing skill, and I'll be honest, it's alright. Based on my testing so far, if you're able to get used to and rewire your brain in the way you play with the brand new Welstra, it actually is very good because Welstra will be the first few that actually attack because you want that minus 10k and deal damage 1 early as soon as possible. And based on my testing result, it actually worked quite well because of the fact that that minus 10k is so much. And if you're considering you can use card like Bergina to actually activate Maximum earlier on, this means that the maximum power minus that this deck can put your opponent into is up to minus 20k based on my testing so far, which is actually quite substantial, especially if you're considering the fact that a lot of cards in Welstra doesn't really gain a lot of power. So this actually helps the decks a lot. And together with a Keha, which is one of the new cards that we know, you also can get energy charge every turn as well, which allows Welstra to actually activate the EB7 on the right deck crest, which is a rarity, and sometimes that draw can change your destiny. So just to kind of summarize a bit, the brand new Welstra is excel in being able to build as much resource as possible within a short period of time and burst everything out in a single turn, which is the next turn, turn 4. However, there are still a few issues that need to be ironed out in Welstra as a deck, as there are still some aspects that the original Welstra has that this particular new version doesn't really fix, namely hand size. You really need to draw into the battle, otherwise you can't really draw consistently, and the filter is not enough, at least in my opinion. Yes, there is a few tech choices you can kind of run to actually get around this issue. Like for example, in my deck list, I do use Muna to get additional draw, but it does come at the cost of soul. You can run Roy Archiseries for the filter superior call, but it also does come at a cost of counterblast, something that the deck doesn't really have to begin with. Essentially, you have to make some compromises on what are the tech choices you're running because they will affect your deck. But that is my thoughts about it. What do you guys think about the brand new Welstra, and whether what is the effects of the last triple R for Blitz support is gonna be? Do leave down in the comments, and yeah, that's all I have for today. Take care of yourself, and this is Mac Megane signing out.